As you can see, I am recording. Right, I gotta close this door. Yes, it's true. Cold opening today. It's a fun one, actually. I made this one up this week. Narrator, Ned and Maude were in Edinburgh on overseas term when she was accosted in Chippy and kidnapped to Wicker Island by Janice Hoopla, now horribly burned under the auspices of satanic cult leader Zenith Cholmonsley. Every hour is judgmental. Maude woke up to find her toe missing, and now, would you like to be Maude, Janice, or the Coast Guard?
I will just be Maude.
And action. Splash, splash. Splash, splash. Well, here we are out on the ocean.
My toe holes hurt.
I think it's been such a long time since we've spent this time together modelling.
Yeah, that's because you kidnapped me and cut my toes off and put me in a wickly one.
But now do you forgive me?
I suppose so.
How can we salvage this friendship from so many years? Do you remember our lost love, Ralph Tonks?
Oh yes, Ratman, I remember him. How about, do you remember that cow?
I remember Ermintrude the cow. What just lived, what was down the road, and that yoga woman, what was her name?
Something tasteful.
But the hours and years have fallen by so many like tears. Oh, how can we ever rekindle the magic we had in our youth?
You could return my toes.
You're not helping. Oh, can you ever forgive me? Do you remember the TV show what you used to come round to my house and watch together?
Bobbins the Pony.
Do you remember Bobbins the Pony? Do you remember the so many wrong turns that we have both taken to lead us to this place?
Yes, I have forgiven you, Janice. Make no mistake. I just want my toes back, though. But I don't hold you accountable. You are my best friend, and this friendship will survive. You have my full trust again.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, this is the Coast Guard. We are here to rescue you. Splash, splash, we're here to rescue you.
Oh
Yes. Splash, get in there, Maude. Spooldoosh.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yo, Coast Guard, get in the water. Splash. Coast Guard number 2, you get in the water. Splash, boom. And now to do one, giddy. Lou Ann.
It's hard to tread water with this few toes.
Maude, it's a Maude Good Cast, Season 7. Maggie Roswell's greatest moments, soon to be over, already over. 5 a.m. early bird riser, get that blooming house cooker cleaned. Unruined winter green ice milk, unflavored ice milk drinker. And one of several recurring ghosts, spoiler soon from the primetime TV show. It's the Roswolf Area 50-ounce Roswolf show, etc. Marsha Missman gave me. Who would have believed it? We have arrived at a moment of dentistry.
I can't believe it. 73, 72 in.
71.
This is 71.
Or 2.
Yes. I thought we would have reached this point at around episode 20 when we originally conceived this.
That's before we decided that we needed to see, or you decided, but I agreed 100% that we needed to see every single appearance, no matter how big or Maude.
Exactly, and now it feels like we're at a point that we have earned.
A point of yes return, one might say.
Yes. No,
yes. And so, Zazz, we're back together as well. I haven't seen you since the beginning of this season, since we crossed over that time gate and everything went wrong.
I know, it's been a while. I was trapped inside the mind of a different person for quite a long time.
All very reminiscent of season 3 of Twin Peaks, if I had to say.
Only slightly.
Anyway, let's stop effing about. What's that?
I picked up this log on the way.
Hey, what's he saying, him? Hey, I can't bloody tell what he's saying. Let's effing get back to effing Wigan Town, lad.
Yeah, okay. Let's. Is it the 90s?
Well, my car can fly, so fly, Jenny.
That's a plane.
We've got takeoff.
Thanks, Gindy. We are.
We're now flying north to see the whole world of the north.
It's nice to see all of this 90s land.
What's that down there in the snow?
I believe we're above. If my choggy raking skills are still intact, I think we're above Moldova.
No, I believe we are above the Yukon in the north of Canada. I'm no geographical expert.
Yes, all that choggy magic's gone. I can see a word written in red snow. Might not be snow.
It seems to say, Pomok. It seems to say Pomok. Does anyone here speak Moldovan?
No, if I speak Slovenian, I think it means help.
Oh, those two languages are somewhat etymologically similar.
That's good.
All right, let's land.
I was going to Google it, but it's the 90s, so I AOL'd it.
I asked Jeeves it.
But we're nothing. Exactly.
Anyway, take us down, Gindy.
Yeah, I'm the president of this place too.
That's not true, Bill. You've never been the president of Canada.
Canada's just my back pocket.
Whatever.
You're barely even the president of America anymore. Oh, look.
Who's that in that igloo?
They look sad and feral.
It's me. It's me. You left me to die.
Oh, Christ. It's Roswell.
Maggie, you went home. We gave you $4,000 and you went home.
I got lost and it's your fault. I want 4000 right now.
You look really sad. Who are your friends?
Not sad. I'm bloody livid.
Who are your mates?
It's Xavier and Dan and Snowfox. Not that it's any of your effing business. They're better friends than you'll ever be.
I don't believe
I've only just got here. I didn't even know you'd met Maggie Roswell. Have you asked her any questions?
No. She's on. I don't want to hear me say this, but she's bloody unbelievable.
Yeah, is it all connected together? What's up, Sad Max?
Not only is my friend is now dead. Spoiler. I do not have $4,000.
Oh, look. Oh, by the way, I brought, the evil me must have brought along, I believe that's Marsha Mitzman-Gaben and Ian Maxton Graham are also in the back of this flying car.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Yes, we're on our honeymoon. Here's 4,000 peace dollars, Mag.
Thanks. Can I have a bloody word, Ian? Come on. Let's go shagging igloo. What?
Okay.
Listen, I just want a word. A heart to heart. Listen, this Mitzman-Gaven bitch, she's shit. Her voice is shit. Her interview is shit. Her look was shit. Trying to sell her book cover was shit. Trying to sell her book to the judges was shit. She's shit.
You know what, Maggie? I think you might be right. Give me a hot minute.
Let's have a shack fast.
Give me a minute, Marsha. Can you come here a minute?
Yes.
It's over, love.
No.
I'm letting you go.
You're letting me go.
Yes. What's going on? What have I missed?
Listen, F off out of here. This is my Yukon, North Canada. And that would be $4,000 for you to get the F out of this place. Ian, you can stay.
Thank you. Yes, MMG, I'm afraid there's a $4,000 leaving fee, cash only.
No. can you at least spare me $5 or Canadian dollars to get home?
Well, I can't, sorry, Marsha.
Sorry, I've got no cash. Count. I've got no cash. Ha 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 ha. Thank you for reuniting us. MFIMDB on stamp. We will take you anywhere in the world as a reward. Let's go Africa. For a fee. Ha 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 ha. He. Hello. Goodman Mauding and shawl accumulation, insignificant shady heart's desire. No human-made object has ever travelled farther than Voyager 1. Counselling today, online exclusives. Consider professional development courses. Disable account and change passwords. Designed with nature conservation in mind, though the body is dead because of sin, the spirit is life because of righteousness. All hail corporate imperialism. Sponsors. Alternative bacon, prosciutto, fish skin bacon, salmon rashers, vegan cartel, Urki, salmon, venison, duck, and more. Stay tuned for bacon news.
Sponsor, Karen Onion, the Scottish rock star parrot. Do you have a fat bum, Karen Onion? Aye.
Sponsor. Peabody Vanderbilt, #1 richest man in the universe. Crystal piano. Zero grav bed, formaldehyde shark, solid gold Bugatti, diamond panther, and yacht. No one likes to believe when they'd be given a leg up in life. I know nothing when I was young rosehip. I know that I'm strong. Guilty.
Sponsor, The Horse Whisperer, starring Robert Redford, Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Kate Bosworth as Judith.
Finally, Bosworth as Judith.
BOG. BAJ.
Give me a number between 1 and 300 and something.
4. No, 5.
Real world. Maggie Roswell asked for an increase from 2K to 6K. The 6 mains were on 125K an episode.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
What Maud Flanders Ghost can teach us about salary negotiation? If salary turns out to be non-negotiable with your employer... Jesus Christ. If salary turns out to be non-negotiable with your employer, don't forget you may still be able to negotiate perks and benefits like vacation time, gym memberships, tuition reimbursement for furthering your education, and as proven by the appearance of the ghost of Maud Flanders, the ability to work from home.
Beautiful. If anything, Roswell was decades ahead of the rest of the world in terms of wanting to work from home and proving that she could. And it baffles me that in the 90s they had the technology to make The Simpsons, but they didn't have the technology to record Maggie Roswell from Denver.
I'm sure it's the quality. But if she'd gone to a studio or something, I'm sure it would have been okay.
I think it was spite. And I think it was more to do with Fox itself than the actual. I imagine everyone at The Simpsons probably felt quite bad for her, particularly Yardley Smith. None of them particularly. They didn't feel bad enough to rally around her.
To help in any way.
Give her, 0.5% of their wage per episode between the 5 of them would have paid this problem, but Azaria was already paying lots of his money out as hush money to the Indian community, so...
Listen, it's a slippery slope, mate. If you start giving Roswell 2,000 yen, 2,000 US dollars before you know it, the dude what does Jacques will be back and they'll be asking for an extra tenner.
Exactly, Albert Brooks.
The dude who does Gil will be on the phone, on the blower, asking for £1.50 for a pasty.
Exactly. Dan Castellaneta. But no, it is, even though I've just experienced how difficult she can be in real life,
IRL.
and she has sharper teeth than I imagined, I still stand by the unfairness of this, and the quality that she was giving in her appearances, I would have given her $5,000.
Well, I know a man who wouldn't.
Could it be Murdoch?
He'd be Murdoch, and he would say, Saisha Rahim, would you give her $4,000? And he would stare at him hard until he said, I wouldn't.
Yes.
Welcome to the Maud Flanders Internet Museum theme park database and hot cake restaurant. Currently being conciliated pleasantly with embraces and insects by the effervescent love potions of the rock hydrax and tiny elephants. Did anyone get a phone number for those simians? They sort of left us in the lurch here.
555
MONKY.
Z.
Do you want to give the good people some context for this most important of all content?
Yeah, we're here. Well, we're not quite there, but we are. We're not in the sea yet, but we've got our toes on the waves. She is. We've still got one. Let's not skimp over the fact that we have still a full episode that she survives. But we have finally arrived at the day that Maud Flanders dies, and we are here to go through it as intensely as possible and hold everybody possible accountable in a segment I call People Who Killed Maud Flanders.
PWKMF.
DP.
Content. Clip 1. Mansion family death. Clock 1. HJ and BS are in the garden. Homer is hatted, I repeat, etc. He has a white mare horse. He instructs the eBay son. He instructs his son. I learned everything I need to know from the horse whisperer. Brad Simpson looks on smiling. Step 1. Seduce a lonely housewife. He turns to see Maud, who appears to be stirring out of a glassless and curtainless, I repeat, etc. window. He tips his hat. It has an orange roll blind. Is this a new window, I ask? Mom, he says, and tips his hat to Maud. She emotionlessly stirs her head. No P&S for Maudie as she lets the blind down.
Beautiful. I pulled a boner on the name of the episode. It's called Saddlesore Galactica.
That's a good title.
The Mansion family was the last one.
That's right.
With Brittany. It's like she was just stood there listening and waiting for him to do something like this so she could reject him.
Typical.
But she's obviously overhearing what's being said because she takes offence.
Is she a lonely housewife? Does Homer think she's a lonely housewife? Or is it just a turn of phrase?
I think he thinks she is lonely, but she is not. He's just doing that Homer thing where, because she's with Ned, she must be having a bad time because he's Ned. He couldn't believe that she could possibly be unlonely. But I don't believe that to be the case. I believe they are one of the least lonely families in town.
Until, of course,
when they picked a couple to divorce, they didn't choose Ned and Maud.
No, but we've gone over this before. That would have been fun, right?
Yes, that way she wouldn't have died either.
She might have still died, spoiler, you know.
True. That would have been a bit of a double whammy for Rod and Todd. I like the stoic Maud face.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sentimental for us.
Is it the last stoic Maud fest?
For a while, probably. We've really got to take advantage or bask in the fact that she's in scenes. Because that's it's going to go away for some time.
Oh, good Lord, it is, isn't it?
It will be people just referencing Maud Flanders, which is fine, but it's nice to have her still be there for now.
So basically, you're saying, like, once the inevitable happens, a lot of our episodes are going to be Maudless, I repeat.
Precisely. I'll come back to that in a second. But the lasts that I noted are, this is the last time we see her in the Flanders house, which is a biggie. It's the last time she is seen with a horse. And it is
less than a biggie.
Yes, the biggest biggie is this is the last episode of The Simpsons that Maud fully survives. Ever.
Good Lord. Would you have Adam and Eve there?
No, back in the day when she was just sat next to Ned as he won a shoe buffer, or he was, she was sat with her back to us for the entire week at Mo's family feedback.
Classic BOTH. I'm guessing there's not going to be too many more of those.
There certainly is not, but there isn't none.
Oh, I'm glad to see there's not none.
It's a good number.
Any number above none is good in terms of BOTHs.
Dear Fox, could I have an extra not $9? Love Maggie Roswell.
How many not $9 do you want, Maggie?
Between somewhere in the ballpark of 3,999 and 4,001.
Give or take.
Yes, I'm lenient. At this point, she's just sat at home in Denver with no idea. I wonder if they told Roswell that they were going to kill off Maud. Or if she just tuned in 1 week.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know. She must have buddies, because they record the audio for this months in advance, right?
Yeah, it's I think 6 to 8 months in advance.
I reckon ING was on the blower, told her as soon as it happened. There's nothing I can do. I'm nothing I can do. Well, you did your best, Ian. I did write it as well. Ian, did you write this?
No.
Did you need to have her skull crushed? Couldn't you have had her just die peacefully in her sleep?
Couldn't she have just left town? But yeah,
Graham.
The audio commentary for this episode, they say something like when she does the window thing that she'll pay for that indiscretion, and then they all laugh at her.
Glad to see that her death is nothing but a cheap joke for these Simpson writers.
Exactly.
Should be ashamed of themselves. And you, Maxwell Graham.
I'm sure there's a number of cruise directors across America that have heard a midnight drunken wine-filled retelling of what happened from Roswell and her friends.
Oh, Maggie, if you're listening, and we know you are, you and Egworth and Jasmine. Egworth and Jasmine, you're welcome on any time. We'll bring Animate Card and Todd as well.
Yes, and your loving husband, Ian Maxton Graham.
Alone again, Natura-Diddly. Time is up. Season 11, episode 14. Death clock 0. Imminent. We open. Behold, we open to a NASCAR racetrack. The crowd files in. Maybe the Flanders are in that crowd. Or maybe they arrive later after a turbulent morning. The cars whiz by. All is well. The happy Simpsons sit, and a peaceful calm pervades the intensely noisy racetrack. Even the animators don't know what's coming. Homer jims the camera malevolently. Marge Pemmon stems full on. Is she torn over this decision? Lisa eyes them both with suspicion. Maggie is fully on board. And oh, sweet Bart, oblivious in his candy haze. The Flanders arrive stage right, and they have no clue what is about to happen.
Chilling.
Maud and the family arrive. Maud sits, great posture as always, ready to judge. Ned waves. Hi to the hoe, pedal to the metalophiles. HJ turns. Flanders, since when do you like anything cool? Yeah. Why is MF there? Oh, beautiful Maud, this is how we will remember you. Ned, I don't care for the speed. Maud looks on. I can't get enough of that safety gear, says Ned. Helmets. Maud sits silently in life as she will be soon in death, spoiler, except in Treehouse of Horrors, spoiler. Excited, Ned says, helmets, roll bars, caution flags. It does make sense, but also he doesn't. He gestures as Maud watches. A Roswellis Maudie silently. Yes, chips in. Look up. As she looks up, I like the fresh air. So far, so good. And looking at the poor people in the infield, WTF, Maud? She points down.
Phenomenal. A great retelling. Time is indeed up. This is the 13th of February 2000.
Was it a Friday?
It may have been.
It also wasn't.
No. Definitely wasn't, because it wasn't there on a Friday. It was a Sunday, obviously. This is the episode that propels Maud from being just another member of Springfield's elite to one of the supernatural, or cartoonishly unique characters
And also sadly propels her rapidly towards the ground.
Yes, but so it's a strange circular moment that it's this episode that leads us to become Maude, in a sense, or the reason that we're here now. But I'm still surprised that we're finally talking about this episode.
We're here, woof woof.
We are. Pedal to the metalophiles.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Eek. It's quite a dark Flanders joke.
Well, no, pedal to the metal is what you say when people are racing their cars, right?
Yes, but the ophiles comes from a different ped.
Oh, does it? Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it does.
There's no way that's intentional. I didn't get that at all.
That's what I took from this.
I get it. It's right there in plain sight, but I don't believe they intentionally went for that joke.
I will ask Ian Maxwell Graham.
Grim if they did.
It is very good. The whole episode is pretty grim, though, if you watch it. We'll be watching it now for the next 6 episodes, maybe. We established canonically in the Maude Flanders diary that it was Rod's idea to come to this race car track. So Rod is first on my list of people who killed Maude Flanders for that reason.
Number 1.
Even though I created that reason.
This isn't a list of levels of guilt. It's just the order in which their actions led to this tragedy.
Yeah, and if you want to be really spiteful, we could include Marilyn and Frank for producing her in the first place.
Well, lots of things pushed her in that direction, didn't it? Like Ned, for sure. But I mean,
we'll come back to him.
He'll come up soon, won't he?
Do not mistake coincidence for fate, John. I like the fresh air is a very overlooked, boring Maude line that has just been sitting there waiting for me to focus on. We can add that to lists of things that she likes. Unflavoured ice milk, wind chimes, Aerosmith, fresh air.
That's right.
Fresh Aerosmith.
I had a shaved ice in the same cafe as the Aerosmith man, right? I'm sure I've said that before in the episode. Came to Osaka and had a khaki goatee, a fancy one.
But is it? I forgot his name.
Steven Tyler Steven Tile Jobs is the lead singer of Aerosmith.
Oh yes, the elf one who's got the elf daughter.
As we found out earlier, it was Tom Hamilton, the bassist, that is Maude's favourite member of Aerosmith.
The Laura Dern of Aerosmith.
Exactly.
Looking at the poor people in the infield, it looks like the Bible camp has worked a charm, and that's quite a full circle moment if you want to stretch that thread that she went to Bible camp to be more judgmental, and here we are. In her last moments, using it to look at poor people, which includes Cletus and Brandine.
We don't know why she's looking at them, though. Is it because she thinks they're fascinating, or is she pitying them, or mocking
Either way,
them?
it's all of the above are judgmental actions. To specifically sit and watch any group of people for any purpose, there's some judgment being passed, I would argue. And yeah, maybe she's just intrigued by them. I'd like to think that the likes of Cletus and Brandine, who are there, aren't too far away from the Magdalena sort of style people that she grew up with. So I think maybe a sense of, maybe it's like nice judgment. Maybe she feels like it's quite homely to see.
Yeah, maybe she's got a little bit of a hankering for some of that. What about if it was a Zen monk and he was watching some nuns swimming?
Why would he be watching them?
He's just at the beach.
But there'd be some act of judgment within his head for why he's watching them.
Yeah.
Even observation is a form of judgment.
That's a stretch. But yes.
No one even asked her. That's my favourite thing about this Maude line. Homer said, "Ned, what are you doing here?" And they obviously needed to throw in a couple of lines before she kicked the bucket to have her just to interact with people. Normally she'd just be sat there in silence. She wouldn't care to tell Homer why she was doing anything. But this is the one thing we've wanted from her since day one of anything. She sat down and told us exactly what she's doing. And
like a full-on... What's that?
She's also very polite to him.
I know, it's almost as she knew what was coming and she was trying to just reach out some kind of soft olive branch to him. Not quite an apology for the many run-ins they've had, but enough just to be like, Homer, or at least going out on semi-neutral terms.
Precisely. MMG, this is your last episode. Do you want to have at least a proper go? Nah.
No.
They have been very... she started off strong with the Mad Dog stuff. And even the Halloween one, like Goofy Roofy, that we looked at a while back, was good. But then the last one wasn't good. And this one, this isn't even close to Maud. This is just a woman's voice.
This is just a woman's voice. It was like, I was like, this isn't too bad. And I'm like, but that's not Maud's voice. It's just a person speaking.
Yeah, there's no impression of Maud going on.
I must go back to my home planet.
Exactly. And I think probably, given that this is like her third episode and they're killing her off, it's probably spite on MMG's part.
I mean, there is some irony there in the Poochie thing because something very similar happened, right? They got rid of the voice actor and then someone else came in and did a not very passable thing and then they killed the character off.
Exactly. That's probably where they got the inspiration.
Maud is the Poochie of The Simpsons real world.
That is a good opening line for the song. It's a shame that we didn't realise this in the Poochie cast.
We know,
We'll let our cousins know.
Clip 3. Old man Rod. Old man Todd. Rod. That is some creepy AF Rod and Todd. The race is about to start. Last chance for safety. It's like the end of Kes. Put the bet on, Billy Casper. Put the bet on. But doesn't put the bet on, does he? Spoiler. Daddy, can we move closer, says Roddy. Ned says, absolutely notly, hot Roddy. We're up here out of the way of crashes and the driver's cussing. Content clip. Context clip. Predictably, the Sumsums children push and say, move you are damn butt, bite me. I'm guessing you put this in even though there is no direct reference to Maud, just to give us that chilling foreshadowing.
Yeah, I'm setting a scene with this. The next, I give too much away, but next week's 5 clips could have easily been 1 or 2 clips, but I've stretched them out. I'm going to look at every second of it. But yeah, I left it in because this choice becomes pivotal, and it's possibly the darkest moment of this episode. It's showing that if Ned wasn't Ned and he wasn't too Nedish and hadn't been Flanderized, Maud would not have died because they would have moved. And they made a conscious choice to leave that in the episode and show it that it's partially Ned's fault. He's now on the list, by the way.
Here's the thing, though. I'm suggesting that Todd is moved either off or far down that list because he was the one who, if you're going to give him bad vibes for suggesting going, he's the one who suggested moving to a more dangerous yet safer place.
I agree that it balances out, and it's sort of, in a sense, it's a cautionary tale about taking risks, because Ned thought we can't take that risk in case one of us gets hurt, but he didn't acknowledge that there was still risk in the situation they were in. So if he had taken that risk and not been overcautious, his wife wouldn't have died.
Arguably, if one thinks that fate had it in for her, then maybe a NASCAR would have smashed through her front grille had they moved closer.
Yes, this is all very Final Destination 5, which must have been based on the life of Maud Flanders.
FDS.
As it takes entirely the NASCAR race.
Exactly. Fate is a fickle and dangerous mistress. Once she's got you in her jaws, it's game over.
Yeah.
Clip 4.
She's also clearly not there in that last clip. So I speculate that this is when she was talking to Madge Tinker Turnbull.
Oh yeah, because she had that conversation, didn't she?
Yes. And it also implied the hot dogs weren't her only trip, so she must have felt a sense of safety when she did get up to get the hot dogs.
Oh,
she's already been up around once.
Surely I survived the first trip. I'm going to survive the second one, was her thought.
She survived every trip of her life for the last 40-something years. 40 years.
And I'm sure every time she makes a trip, she thinks, whew, survived that one.
Another trip in the bag.
This is the last trip she survives.
True.
Clip 4. A car flips several times, there are gasps, and yet it lands squarely on its wheels. Good job. Oh, says the crowd. Bart Simpson, BS, shouts, come on, someone crash. We see a very normal Maude torso shot, or a very unusual Maude torso shot. The ones at the bottom, great posture and clean garments. Then we zoom out to see HJ reach over. He is fully blocking Maude just like she would have wanted it. Be patient, son, HJ says. A watched car never crashes. Ducky Maude looks on as she is revealed when Homer moves his head. Oh, I missed one, he says. A downward smiling Maude is not interested in looking at crashed cars.
Beautiful, emotional. My Maude's got no head.
How does she smell?
Exactly. This is the non-crashing car, to me, is a omen of something bad to come. That everybody in this crowd is seeking, like, they want to see something bad happen. So Bart is now on the list for wishing for a crash. Because as we already know, or we're soon to know, that God and heaven exist within this world. So we don't know how much of this is an act of God and whether or not he's responding to all these wishes for an incident. So we're adding both Bart and late edition God to this list of murderers.
That is a grim Old Testament kind of God if he's simply like listening to a couple of people and he's like, Flanders will do. She's lived a good life. She's got several children.
Well, what's to say that God was no different to the choice that the likes of Murdoch and Max Stone Graham made on that day? They had a selection of maybe less than a stadium full of people. They had a selection of like 5 women to choose from, and they all opted for Maude to be the one. Not Hoover, not Luann, not Helen, not Kashmir. Maude was the one they thought, she will die today.
In many ways, Max Stone Graham and Murdoch are the gods of the Simpsons universe.
In some ways, but in another way, God is also God. Our very, very last, very beautiful blocked Maude, her big doting eyes are focused entirely on Bart, and she seems to have a churlish smile, I noted, but I don't know what churlish means. It just felt correct.
I agree.
Rude in a mean-spirited and surly way.
Exactly.
It looks like she sees something in herself when Bart is announced that he wishes to see a crash. Is she also wanting to see a crash? Because she's looking at him in a very, oh, Bart sort of way, like she recognises that.
Haven't we all wanted to see two men drive their armoured vehicles towards each other to the death? Spines broken, skulls crashed. What kind of carnage was going on in her head as she looked down at the future NASCAR?
One skull will be crushed today.
But not today. Clip 5. Loudspeakers at the stadium blur. And now here's something for the guys. Finally, says HJ, arms out. They go and look on, and 60s-esque Maude with a tiny small face and a little grin is grinning and burring all of this nonsense. Let's hear it for Fandemonium. As you're all ready for this, from 2 Unlimited fires up and the ladies run in. What? What does Maudie think of this? One of those ladies looks a lot like Maude.
My Maude's got no lipstick. This is our last act of human wizardry from Maude, and that she seems to have removed the lipstick mid-scene and then reapplies it.
Oh, that's what's different. Yeah.
Yeah, she sort of looks plainer, doesn't she?
She does.
In a completely non-insulting way. She doesn't seem off-put, I noted, by Fandemonium, but she also probably doesn't know what that means, and she doesn't know what's about to happen, and we don't see a reaction after the ladies come out. Morgana is the red-haired lady, the third one in. And we don't have identities for the other NASCAR ladies.
Maybe one day we'll find out.
You can bet that NASCAR/Fandemonium are now on the list of people who killed Maude, and they can also stay on the list for not doing any health and safety checks.
Well, I would like to see the outcome. I would like to see the fallout and to see whether any of those Fandemoniums did time.
I'm sure we will. If we ever go back to Springfield, which we'll see how many seasons we run for.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable, isn't it?
Pretty much. I have a lot of people who have to be held responsible. We didn't have this much information when we went.
We learned a lot while we were there, didn't we?
We did.
A lot more than we've learned this season, which simply involved riding around in cars and giving Maggie Roswell $4,000 every 5 minutes. It's not a
Whilst we
great
were
plot.
just chased repeatedly by Murdoch, and I wasn't there. And I made, instead of doing a voice, I made a conscious choice to audibly alter my voice, which added much more time each week.
Exactly. Just do a voice next time.
Yes.
So there we are. We've come up to the point where Fandemonium have arrived. The end is very, very much nigh.
This is the last episode of the Maude cast that Maude survives as well.
Good Lord. It is, isn't it? The last
We're going to
71.
experience the rebirth.
What's going to happen post-death? It's not the end, right?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
This is simply the beginning.
But it's also the end.
Yes, in many ways, it's a circular experience.
But mostly it's the middle.
We've seen the things that have shaped Maude within the Simpsons world, and then from now on we're going to be looking at things that shaped Maude within the world of fandom and the Simpsons community. What made us stand out after all these years blending in?
Get out of my bloody car. I've had enough of you talking about Maud Flanders all the time. Listen, she's done. Leave it. We'll get her back one day. But for now, he's done. Get out of my effing car. Kick him out, Ian.
We were in a plane.
It's a flying
Okay.
car. Ah, bump.
Where are we?
Oh, bloody hell, we're middle of jungle. Who's this? Yeah, what are you doing in my jungle?
These look like digital natives.
You filled in the appropriate form.
Kind of. I've done one.
Come here, you. I'm going for batter you. Oh.
Stop. Come back.
I'm
Don't
going
put your
batter
shirt
you
back on.
on. I'm going batter you on.
This is
goodbye.
well, it worked.
Well, it worked. The digital natives have done one, and Stamps off running around pantsless, I repeat, etc., and shirtless. Oh, hold on. Oh, what's this net? Oh, bloody hell.
Oh no.
Bloody hell, we're caught in a net now, just as I was getting to like this jungle.
It's just one thing after another.
It's literally just one thing, and then the next thing with nothing linking them.
Getting,
No rhyme or reason.
I'm the law in these parts. They call me Ranger. Diane Sharpie, Sharp Eye.
Start. When should go nigh, see.
Well, this is a turnout for the box.
Yes,
Is
indeed.
it? Where are you? Oh, it's the 90s, so she doesn't know us yet.
No.
Should we tell her she dies?
No, don't tell her anything. But while we got a little bit of time, I'd like you to tell me about the turmoil before Maud's death. If you could fill me in a little bit on the Boda's life insurance story.
Say that again, sorry. Me?
Yeah, read the screen, dude.
We've covered all this.
Can you tell me?
Several times now.
Could you give me more details?
Yeah, they go to the funeral of Marilyn, who they all have a nice time as a family. Well, you know, it's not bad. But then
For a
afterwards,
funeral.
it's not bad for a funeral. Then afterwards, they all get leathered in a park, Marilyn's favourite park. And
What's the name of the park?
Cell, S-E-L, Cell Park. Or, yeah, no, Cell. Magdalena wasn't there for very long. She climbed on top of Ermintrude the cow and started riding her around the park. So she was arrested again. Well, no, she was arrested, and then while she was arrested, that's how she admitted that she accidentally manslaughtered Marilyn. And that's how that played out. And I believe she got some kind of lawyer, probably blue-haired lawyer, to help her get off. But Maude was offended at the idea of them all getting life insurance on each other because she thought it was too sad And also, Neddy doesn't believe in gambling. So she was already out from that point, and then Morgana just kicked off and was like, get a life, you gimp. And then Morgana admitted that all of her lifelong problems with Maud, and Madge was just there, like, egging them on and kind of just throwing buffet food at Maud just to irritate her even more. And Conrad and Garrett just left. They were like, we're not talking to you, any of you. Like, talk to us once you've stopped this nonsense. And Frank took it as a sign of disrespect from Maud that she wouldn't cause such a scene at her mother's funeral, even though she didn't start the fight. And then, they all left unhappy and not talking to each other.
So that's the funeral wasn't quite as happy as most.
No.
But now, look, where are we landing, Diane Sharpie? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great, but I have fallen in love with you on this short journey.
Me too. Put on this watermelon suit.
Let's nip round back our balloon.
Oh, dear. What's happening to these?
Oh, no, we've been hit by some small metal blocks, and it looks like we're plummeting to our death.
Quickly, what's the co-pilot when she gonna die gonna do?
Oh, it's that for it. Oh, I get it now.
I've sacrificed myself so you can live.
No, when she...
I'm sorry about that. I was just practicing throwing my bidlets.
I'm not Hobo. H-Robo.
It was actually Dave who caused this horrific incident because he's not very skilled with his bidlets. He let the bidlets all go. Dave, please say something. Bleep, bleep. Say it properly, Dave. Bleep, bleep. That's good. Good boy. Bleep. I can either give the dead one a robot body or get you out of these mountains and where you need to go, but not both.
Well, we'll think about that.
I think I've answered already. Take us back to Wesley Mains.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Fine by me.
Zip. The bin lids move very fast, so we're already here.
Oh, nice. Here we are. It looks like shit.
I'm off to go find a new knapsack and a bench. I'll see you all again in 25 years. Ha ha ha.
Bye.
This is a fine patch of land, and it's going to be ours.
Look behind you.
Boys, you're back! Hooray! Who are you, and why you're so young and old?
Is that Uncle Statman John and Ouija Bell?
Yes, it's us, and we've been waiting for you because we know the whole story. This land belongs to our family. We won it in a Fland ball game, and we concurrently inherited from my grandfather. And we've decided to build something here, starting with this big bag of nappies.
It's a beautiful piece of land.
What should we build?
I have an idea. How about we get this Sphinx that's just been left there, and I will begin to shape it into a mod, and the rest of you can begin construction on what will become MFIMDB 1, which we never knew how was built.
I've got some friends that might help us. Come on, lads, come on.
Okay, we're here. Woof, woof.
I bet Clinton got any friends to help.
Don't know where Clinton is. We lost him. He kind of just disappeared in this story, didn't he? But
we probably just left him in America.
I'm here. Don't worry, guys. I'm here. Oh shit! I just knocked over some kind of dragonfly billabong.
Insert line.
Insert line here.
Yes, I am in attendance.
Oh dear. I know what Maggie would say. Maggie, ring, ring. Yes.
I want some vacation time, gym membership, tuition reimbursement, and the ability to work from home.
Well, I think you got to phone your boss, Richard Mondock, not me. The end. Well, we're back home, Zazz. I don't know what year this is, but
me neither.
Should we have a diary?
Yeah, sure. Is that Evil Me with Clinton? Didn't he die?
Oh, that's all very suspicious, isn't it? It's all setting up some kind of sequel.
I'll tell you about it later.
I'm going now, bye. Oh,
See you, everyone.
up in his car just after committing that atrocity.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got plenty of animal employees to bury the body.
What about that diary?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about that diary option.
Exactly.
Dear Diary, today, on this peaceful Wednesday afternoon in the midst of season 11, I decided it's time to take some time to offer thanks to a few people. There was an incident roughly 10-ish years ago when I was pregnant with my first boy, Rod Flanders, and I would like to explain that incident now. One afternoon on a peaceful journey before season 1, me and Neddy, my husband, were taking a gentle swan boat ride across the Lake Springfield. Upon it was a nice afternoon, but a bit bland, but I couldn't really do much anyway because I was 9 months pregnant. But, you know, a gentle boat ride, what could possibly go wrong? But when we're in the middle of the lake, Neddy saw an unbaptized bee and he fainted, just flat out fainted in the swan boat, just as me, sweet Maudie, went into labour, which is not what Jesus would refer to as ideal, but you know, he knows something about bad labours. Well, he wasn't. I don't know if sentient Jesus is as a god, whether he was aware of his own birth. But that's neither here nor there. I was just sort of in the middle of this lake as Neddy was blacked out, and the sea captain noticed the peril ongoing, and he came over and said, like, "Oh, would you like a lift? You look like you're struggling, love." And I said, yeah, that'd be lovely, thank you. And he put me and Neddy onto his little tugboat and took us back to the land. But that was all well and good, but I was in labour now, and he told me he couldn't drive land boats. So I was back to square one, essentially. Neddy still passed out the side of me like a bitch. I could see all the traffic on the motorway as well, highway, whatever you want to call it. It was completely standstill. So I was, panicking. What's the opposite of cloud 9? Land 1. I was at land 1. Let me just read my notes. Oh yeah, I was sort of waddling towards the general direction of the hospital, and then a tractor pulled up at the side of me, and it was the school's groundsman, William, who said something like, "Aye, lassie, would you like to, you want a lift? You look rat-arsed." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm fixing to have a baby." And so Willie offered, and then gradually began to demand that he had to take me to the hospital on the back of his tractor.
Which was going well. We were just
cutting through all the parks and the back alleys and stuff, but then he admitted he was blind drunk seconds before smashing straight into a birthday bouncy castle in the Chalmers garden, and poor Shauna Chalmers' birthday party was ruined. I luckily crawled out of the surprisingly gory wreckage, and I was just stuck once again. Willie, I don't know where Willie was at this point, probably been arrested. Blood everywhere, bouncy castle, unrefundable. But then the next door neighbour popped his head over the fence and said, "Glaven, would you like to, I can help you, Maud, I know you from science club in school or something. There's a thread to unravel one day. I'll take you the rest of the way in this hover car." So then he attached me to this hover car, which was basically just a parasail with a radio attached to it. But it got me to the hospital. We got there, and then I flew into the hospital straight into a wheelchair, was wheeled into the room, and then the wonderful Dr. Stork and the trio of men who had helped me, Sea Captain, Professor John, Professor Frink, and groundsman William, all stood around me as I gave birth to Rod, and then Ned woke up eventually and was like, "Oh, what I missed." And that was basically it. Helen had a baby last week too, but my baby was thinner and cuter and it didn't stink, and it wasn't stupid and ugly with a stupid face. So thanks to these 3 lifelong friends. They will be lifelong friends, and I guarantee that they will have a spot at my funeral one day. Bye.
Wow, so Captain, Professor, and Keeper all played their part, similar to some kind of Wizard of Oz style story.
It is. Thank you for the imagery.
Mystery solved.
That would be like badly Microsoft painted images of films with Maude, the sea captain, Frank and Mo, or wherever it was.
I certainly do. I can't wait to see them in the Poseidon Adventure, Spartacus, or maybe the 1978 Dustin Hoffman vehicle, Marathon Man.
Oh yes, Ben-Hur.
Henber.
Mel Gibson's Ben-Hur.
Jel Mibson's Henber.
Soundtrack by Britney Spears.
Let's sing a song to finish.
Exactly.
Manchio we partner horse.
Corainless Ariapod, etc. window.
Should J again the crows maybe arrive.
Late at a turbulent morning.
This is the east species John's cloud.
Oh, beautiful Maude, this is how we will remember you.
Don't the helmet sexy spect.
I liked the fresh air and looking at the poor people in the infield.
Yeus, about assays, courage.
Hashtag spoiler daddy.
Oh, we made a small faces.
Just grin.
Let's hear it for Fandy Ammonium.
Roswell's. Y'all off.
The end.
The end.
Well, Maude's at death's door. We're back home after a long journey, although we are still displaced by 30 or so years. Okay, would have thought it.
I know. And have you checked what date it is?
It is the 16th of June.
No, it is more like the 8th. The 8th of February.
Sure.